Okay. All right, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Bianca Ariel, business coach and creator of the Creator Calling course.
Hey guys, I'm Dominique Rice, owner of Dominique Rice Consulting.
Yes, welcome back. So if you can't tell, I got a little tan, because I just came back from Mexico, so I'm really tanned.
And if you can't tell, I'm at the airport.
So super excited. So welcome back. So I guess I'll talk this week because I always ask you about how your week went. So
yeah.
So I pretty much, I've been in Mexico for about a month and a half. Then towards the end of my trip, I had friends come out and visit. So I've been pretty much busy and feeling super unproductive for the last week and a half. So one of my goals for this week and for our time in Nevada is to really get some things done productivity wise. So that was good. But I still was managed to squeeze in my session with my client. Some of the topics we covered was basically all of the fun aspects of developing a business, like anything you do foundational, like your website design, coming up with the name and the theory. But I told him, like, my job for him is to make sure that we turn theory into actuality. So we really push towards some action steps as far as cultivating a list of providers that we're looking to do. And then I am on my behalf, even though this is more consulting, I'm going to be looking for web developers as well. And that's it. We found someone that's going to help us with our social media. So I'm looking forward to that. And Dominique is on her way here to Nevada. So we're going to be working together for the next 2 weeks. And planning a road trip. So we have a lot of stuff to get done.
Yes. I'm sure we'll have some sneak peeks of what we have going on to share with you guys. I'm super excited. And B, I'm so glad you had such a wonderful week with your friends. And now I'm glad to be reconnecting with you. And I feel like it's been too long.
I know, it's been a long time. I'm super excited. So tell me, what's going on this week? Were you able to do the workshop?
Yes. So my client booked a one-day workshop on Saturday. It was amazing. We worked hours, and then she booked another day on Sunday. So she just was like, I need to stay one more night. Is there any way? I'm like, and the weather was bad. So I'm like, girl, stay one more night and let's knock this out. And so, I mean, just getting her systems in order. And she's like, this isn't overwhelming you at all. I'm like, not really. Like, that's my thing. Like, You know what overwhelms me? Like running errands. Like today, my assistant had to go run errands for my trip. And I was just like, what overwhelms me is going to pick out underwear. Right. That's annoying and overwhelming. And then in my personal life, it's been like kind of nuts. I mentioned not too long ago that I had a significant other and it just didn't work out, so it's been some time that it hasn't worked out. And I was really embarrassed by it, because I was like, damn, like it's been like a couple of weeks and I'm like back single, but it was a good experience. And it's somebody that I cared for and it's somebody that I will always respect and care for, but we're not aligned where we are. And I know exactly the trajectory where I want my life to be. And I think as women, sometimes that we fall into this situation where we tend to like see what things could be versus what they really are. And I think that's the space that I was in. And I think another issue that I had was like, you see what somebody is and you see someone as a really good man, oh, he's successful. Oh, he has good career. Oh, he's a good guy. But, and so he's like, solid person. So like that should be good enough. But what's good enough for me doesn't mean that he's not a good person. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like he's just not for me. And so I think that's something as women we have to be mindful about is like somebody can be an amazing person and just not for you. Mm-hmm. And to be able to understand that.
For the wrong person.
Correct. And so, now that I realize that, as much as like we've had so much history, it's just like not gonna work. And it's all good, it's like no love lost. Like I got love for you, but it's just not for me. So that's been kind of like something I've been wanting to share, but a little bit, embarrassed by.
And so are you embarrassed for yourself or what are you embarrassed?
Yeah, I'm embarrassed for myself because I feel like I'm struggling to foster good interpersonal relationships in my romantic life, So like you can have like all the career and like one thing I don't want to be is a career woman that doesn't have like love and family. And I mean, I have a great, good girl circle and social life. And I mean, so many boss babes in my corner and I'm in so many boss babes' corner, but like to see like my interpersonal life and the romantic aspect, like that's like the one area that I feel like I really want to grow in. And I thought this was the time, and it was really kind of hard for me.
Okay. Okay. Now, is it because you feel like you're running out of time? Do you feel like you're putting
Oh,
too
no.
much focus in
No.
on romance? Do you feel what do you think it is? Do you think it was just a long-term friendship that just was supposed to stay friends?
Yeah, I think it was that, but I don't think that I'm rushing anything, because like that's not me,
Okay.
and I think my only fear in regards to like relationships is that I'm getting really, really in tune with myself. And so part of being in tune with myself is like me like really enjoying being with myself. And so I don't want to, I'm kind of nervous that I'm going to be too into myself. That's going to be hard for me to develop that. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, oh, I'm financially independent. I am, I love my career. I love what I do, and I'm still also very submissive when it comes to men. But my biggest issue is like, I'm like, damn, I like staying home by myself. Like, I like sleeping in my own bed by myself. I like picking up and being able to go away for a few weeks with my bestie in business. And so like when you're in a relationship, you can't do those things, and so as
You
much,
can. With
and
the right
you
person
can't
will
as
understand
much,
you. Well, you can
right?
still do it. Just the right person will understand your lifestyle or have a similar lifestyle to yours.
Sure. Well, the right person is gonna want to have a baby too. So I ain't dragging no baby. I mean, what's gonna be me, you, my nanny, and the baby?
It's about, I mean, that's something that you guys would have to compromise on and figure out what's
Oh
going
no,
to
he's gonna let me go. But with
yeah.
our life trajectory of like what I see myself with a partner with, like I'm like, damn, by the time I bring my baby and my nanny, like shit, like I might as well stay the fuck home.
So that's funny that you mentioned that, because let's talk about this nanny situation, because I told my girl that I was going to have her talk to you. So we've been talking about things that we wanted to pursue in the future. And one of the things I've
Okay.
always said from jump, even on my goal list, it says hire a house manager. Okay.
Correct.
Which could be a nanny at times or a babysitter at times, correct?
Yes.
So her concern is, so this is what happened. So I know what I want and I know what I want to attract. So in the initial time that we were having these discussions, I knew where I wanted to live. I knew who I wanted to hire. And it was almost like, if that's what you feel like you align with, then we're cool. But what I noticed is like she'll start saying like little things that would contrast what we already discussed. And for me, I'm just so big on like achieving what I want to achieve. Like if it's not going to be a fit for you, I want to know now. So she is
Right.
not really on board with the house manager / nanny. She's like, I don't want someone in my house all the time, and I don't want my children to think that their nanny is their parents. She's like, I don't want that type of lifestyle. But she wants a huge house. And now I'm used to small but nice spaces. 5 bedrooms,
Okay.
5 bath. That's a lot of house, right?
Yeah.
That makes me have so much anxiety. And so this is what you do for a living, right? So you're used to
Right.
people talking about all this stuff. So, so what would you suggest for one person wanting a house manager and a nanny, and one person like, no, I got it. We can all handle it ourselves. Because
Well, who's gonna watch the kids when you guys go to work?
I'm going to be working from home, and so will she.
But
So,
when you're working from home, you still are working.
right.
So so the first thing is like to determine like what schedules work for you guys. So there's a lot of things that you need to work through. You need to work through like, well, first of all, like you don't want someone in your house all the time, and I can respect that. So I had to bring in an assistant over the last few weeks. I've been really struggling personally to do personal things. Like my work stuff is totally fine. But like literally, like I have a very good friend whose birthday is this week, and like we're literally two ships sailing in the night. She's flew into Charlotte today. I'm flying out today. So we're not going to see each other. So she's literally like came to my house after she landed from the airport, and we spent the afternoon together with some other friends. And then I came to the airport, and she left my house when I headed to the airport. So the problem is like I don't have time for personal things. So like I wanted her to have flowers. I wanted to give her her favorite dessert. Wanted to do things like that. And so I physically didn't have the time. So what I've just allowed myself to do is I have a girl that used to work for me. I love her. She knows me. She knows my personality. She knows how I am. Like, she just gets me. And so she has a job that starts in November. So she's working for me temp, a 5-hour shift a day to just run my errands, do online stuff, make sure, clean out my storage, just little basic tasks that I really want done that are in the back of my mind. And so it's been really, they're very loud, and we got to work on their behavior.
I can't really hear them. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So, it's been something that I needed. And so I think like once somebody becomes busy and they understand and see more so like you working and how much you can't contribute, unless if that person wants to do everything, then by all means. But let me tell you what I'm going to do. And anything outside of this is what I'm going to do. So once you guys just find your boundaries of like, okay, from this time to this time, I'm not available. So if you want to figure it out, then you figure it out.
Right.
And that's how it is. And some people rock with that. There are some partners that are like, you know what, I don't mind, and I'll work night shift and blah, 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 blah. But one thing that has to happen is you have to have a house cleaner. That's like somebody that can come and go. And the other thing is you don't have to have somebody full time. Like I honestly will foresee myself like my assistant. Sometimes I'm like, hey, go ahead and go right now. Or you know what, go ahead and make us some cocktails and like, let's have a drink. Like, what I mean? So when it comes to that, you determine like, having someone in your house all the time can be intrusive. It can be, especially when you're both working from home. So I get it.
I just think of it as like, maybe to me, that would be an estate. That's equivalent, that a house that big is equivalent to an estate for me, right? Especially living in Los Angeles, I'm used to small spaces and I don't, like, I'm busy. I need a maid. I need a housekeeper. I need a house manager that is pretty much going to manage the house. Who's going to maintain the pool? Who's going to do the mowing of the lawn? Like I'm not doing that. And then we want to have twins. And then, us lesbians, we can plan accordingly. So my thing is like, okay, so we have a lot going on, and then we're also going to build our own empire. Like, I don't understand does she understand the growth that is about to happen? It's going to be a lot. And so I already know I'm going to need people on my team. And so I think that I had a nanny growing up, so I understand that concept. And by no means did I ever think that the nanny was my mom. Like, I knew the difference.
I'm not worried about that at all, because the nanny goes home and you have certain boundaries and you have certain guidelines and things.
Some nannies live in the house, right? And some don't.
Yeah, I don't recommend live-ins. I don't recommend live-ins for anybody. I recommend somebody who's comfortable traveling and somebody who's comfortable doing overnights, but I don't recommend live-ins, and that's not something that I always encourage.
Okay, so maybe like a house manager that can fill in as a babysitter and that can cook and clean. Yep. Is that a thing?
Not deep cleaning, so you'll need to hire a cleaner. Okay. So cleaners are totally different than household managers. But household managers, you can have somebody that does organizational projects, change the linens, those kind of things. But your deep cleaner does a deep clean once a week. Okay, so you need house manager. So house manager and nanny, could that go hand in hand? Or that could be the same one. So that's a nanny who does household manager duties. Okay, nanny that does household manager duties. So a nanny / household manager. Okay, boom. And then you also need a cleaner that's going to come in and deep clean. Yep, and that could be once a week. Yep. Okay. All right. But so that means that budget. What is the price range to hire someone like this? Depending on where you live, anywhere between $50,000 to $120,000 a year. Okay. Okay. Got it. I remember one time you said that you don't really. Never mind. I don't know. I don't want to bring it up. Never mind. Anyways, okay, cool. So that's good. That's a good conversation to have. But I told her, I'm like, she's gonna have to talk to you so she can really understand, like, this is happening. We're gonna need this if we're gonna be. Well, not only that, but you guys need to define like who's gonna be doing what. Like, if I'm not available between this time and this time, so like how I structure my life is like. If I had children, like, when I was talking with the person I was dating, like he really wanted to have children, I was not necessarily ready yet. And so I think that was another thing. But one thing that I would have to say is like, I'm not available between this time and this time. So if you got it, you got it. You don't have to have anybody. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have it, like I'm not available and these are the hours that I'm working. And that's what it is. Okay, boom. Bet. So, and that's on period. So tell me, what's the fun question? All right. Oh, fun question. I don't have one. You tell me one. I know. I'm like, I don't have one. What was your favorite vacation ever? We talked about that already, girl. Oh, we did that one? Shit. We already did that one. What's the most romantic thing you've ever done for someone? I'm not that sentimental. Okay, so I suck at shit like that. That's why I got an assistant. So my assistant can tell me some romantic shit that she recommends. Go on Google. I think we talked about the most romantic date already. Like we did. Right, okay, let's say one quick fun question before I have to board the flight. What was your favorite thing you did with your friends this week? Okay, so the favorite thing that I did with my friends this week is we went whale
shark diving.
Ah, you did that?
Yeah. So I wasn't
amazing.
gonna do it, but
Okay,
you
because you
know,
mentioned you weren't going to do it.
right, I wasn't gonna do it, and everybody else was just kind of jumping off. And so whale sharks are actually not sharks; they're fish. They just look.
Okay.
They're just the biggest fish in the sea.
Okay.
So everybody was they were literally not bothering you. They were actually just swimming like towards you or away from you, but they were not intimidating whatsoever. So I mean, there was so many people in the water just like swimming next to them. I was like, whatever, I'm gonna try it. So I did it. I swam right in front of it and like
Oh, wow.
solid, like right in front of it. It was crazy. What about you? 'Cause I know you gotta go.
So I think my favorite thing this week was like my friends came over to say bye to me. I had a little going away kickback with my assistant, 2 homegirls, and we just kind of had some drinks, some adult beverages, and I was taking down my friend's hair, and we were like listening to Erica Badu and Common, and just it was the whole vibe. So I would say that's my favorite thing. And then ask me next week because I have something else I want to share, but I want to share next week.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. If you want to contact Dominique, go to dominiquerice.com. If you want to contact me, go to biancaariel.com, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.
My tan. Oh my goodness. Oh wait, let me stop.